Hello, this is Mr. Jones, and I'm going to talk to you today about integers and absolute value. I'm going to spend some time talking about negative numbers. We've already spent most of our time talking about positive numbers, and we've talked a little bit about negative numbers. If I were to ask you to read the temperature on this thermometer, you would tell me that it is negative 20 degrees Celsius, or if I look at the Fahrenheit side, I could see that it is about negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Notice we use the word negative to show that it's below zero. And this is when we would use negative numbers. We would use it to describe something that's below zero. Maybe a loss. So if in a football game, if somebody loses 2 yards, you would say that was a negative 2-yard loss. Or if it was a stock, a share of stock, you might say that if it goes down, then you would use a negative number, like it lost $2 today, so you might represent that as a negative 2. And golf uses negative numbers if they score under par. So if I look at under par, that would be a negative number. So a negative 2 is good because it's 2 under par. So we use negative numbers to represent certain situations. In this case, we're using a negative number to represent the temperature. Here it's negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 20 degrees Celsius. The little bit of time that we've talked about negative numbers has been graphing them on a number line. Here I have a horizontal number line, and the negative numbers are to the left of 0, and the positive numbers are to the right. If I was to do a vertical line, here I have 0, all the positive numbers would be above 0, and all the negative numbers would be below 0. But we're just going to work with the horizontal right now. So let me just go ahead and erase this off. And like I said, we've worked a little bit with the negative numbers. And if I asked you to plot these negative numbers or these numbers on a number line, negative 1 would be right there, 4 would be right here, and negative 5 would be right here. Now, the further I go left, the lesser the number is. So if I was to look at this, negative 5 is going to be less than negative 1 because it's further to the left. And this will help when we have to put numbers in order. So if I wanted to order these numbers from least to greatest, I would say negative 5, negative 1, and then 4, because I'm just going to go furthest to the left and work my way to the right, and that would put it from order from least to greatest. Numbers that are the same distance from 0 on a number line, but in opposite directions, are called opposites. Remember, integers are the set of whole numbers and their opposites. And so far, all I've talked about are integers, and I'm going to spend most of this unit dealing with integers, but we will deal with some rational numbers as well. A number's distance from 0 on the number line is called its absolute value. You write the absolute value of negative 2 using the absolute value bars. So, if I wanted to ask, what is the opposite of 3? So 3, here's 0 right here, and 3 is right here. So 3 is in this direction. I go over 3 units. So its opposite is going to be in the opposite direction. So the opposite of 3, of course, is going to be negative 3. And what about the absolute value of negative 3? Right? So I'm going to draw the absolute value bars and say the absolute value of negative 3. Now remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. And so I'm going to see how many units is it from 0. So I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3. So it is 3 units from 0. So the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. What about the absolute value of 4? Well, let's find out. I start with 0, and I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 units away. So do not get confused with opposite and absolute value, because absolute value is the distance from 0. Opposite means in the opposite direction.